Play action. Cousins back. Floats it to the near side. Making the catch is Rudolph. Malcolm Jenkins stopped him after only a 2-yard pickup.
On this play, you get so much depth here to get underneath here.
So we're playing basically just like a invert half, basically. Darby's the deep defender, and then I'm technically the flat defender. I got to hold off the 7, just like you would tell a squat corner.
Yep.
And then make them check this down, and then you just got to run and get him down, try to mitigate the amount of yards he gets.
Rudolph coming across the formation, and it's played extremely well by Malcolm Jenkins.
What's your indicator that it's not run right here?
So in my mind, this formation is the only types of runs I'm going to get with the tight end. He's off, but he's tight, direct, dive solid. And so if it is dive solid, that receiver is the one that's got to block me. And so I'm just feeling him, really. I'm looking inside, but I'm feeling him. Once he doesn't block me, I'm out.
The way you really drive to get the depth, you can always come up. But once you take that depth, it takes that corner away. A lot of guys playing that position, they don't get that depth.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. You got to get it as fast as you can. It's really about the angle. Like, I know I don't have to touch this receiver to take away the throw. I just got to be able to get in the angle.
You know, from a quarterback's perspective, I can guarantee you my pre-snap read, and with you in that position, I come on this fake, I got this old cut out here, it's like stealing. I mean, that's my thinking on
that play action.
Yeah, because he's not buzzing that thing.
Right.
He's not taking that old cut away. I mean, to me, that's just an incredible move to get that depth.
But here you are again.
Yeah, I just got there fast enough on this one.
Got here with that, man.
It's the same concept as the play we watched before.
Yep.
With this motion, that takes my run responsibilities now outside of this guy, so I can loosen up and get a head start on my drop. I'm gonna get my depth first. I just know I'm deep enough to take away the 7 if he ran it.
Right.
And I'm really just looking at the quarterback. So I'm waiting for this check down because I want them to see that. They just see an open check down. It's like they can't help it. They want to throw it out there.
This is D.D. Westbrook. He's got some speed here.
So the funny thing about this play is I'm actually supposed to be blitzing.
Okay.
Oh.
I looked up and realized nobody was covering the third receiver.
Yeah.
If you see Rasul Douglas right now, he's
coming.
running over, yeah.
Late.
Right. And so I'm trying to get him to come. They snap the ball, so I'm not going to blitz. I'll just cover him. Every team's got this route concept in where it's just 2 ends and then a 7 by number 3.
Bortles backs up, firing for the end zone, incomplete. Great coverage by Malcolm Jenkins.
So does Rasul come back to you and say, man, thank you, thanks for coming?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Better. Yeah, of course.
That's something that can happen.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just one of those things like you got to have guys that can problem solve on the field.
So for just the people out there, Malcolm, like Tampa 2 is really a 3 deep coverage.
Yeah, Tampa 2, you got 2 deep safeties. You got your Mike, who's technically a third. He's the middle of the field, third defender, and then you got 2 underneath hook players and 2 corners. The Mike is kind of the wild card in it. Most teams will try to sit something down in front of him so he can be aggressive on that. But if they go vertical, he's got to be able to play both ways.
He steps up, firing for the end zone. Intercepted! Intercepted! Jenkins intercepted! He's across the 20!
We're backed up. I'm playing for them to go for the end zone because they got to take that shot. It's a 2-by-2 formation, so I know, okay, if they run seams, it's just a break on the quarterback drill for me. I got to defend the seams on either side.
So when you're backpedaling here, Malcolm, you're just reading Eli's eyes?
I'm just looking at Eli the whole time.
Okay.
And knowing that if he throws this in the middle of the field at all, that's where I'm going. And so I'm just tracking him.
Were you surprised you threw it?
No, I wasn't. I mean, because this little movement right here, where I'm coming back to this way, leads him to probably believe that he's getting that window open.
He was probably looking to the right. That made you kind of shuffle a little bit.
Something about his body, yeah.
Did you bait him a little bit on that play? Because it doesn't look like he tried to manipulate you.
No, he didn't try to manipulate me at
You
all.
almost manipulated him.
Right, that's what I said. That movement right there gives him the idea that that's open. Backing up and being able to stay square just allowed me to go either way, which ended up in a big interception.
Yeah. So here you are right here, free safety. Your general versatility here, Malcolm.
This being a true zone, I'm really just all off the quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Stay patient and go either left or right based off of where he's looking.
This is a really good job defensively. They play a two-deep zone this time, and Malcolm Jenkins, he hightails, gets to the football, and takes it back the other way.
And I knew 82's over there, so I just like, none of this.
It's down like in a half, pretty much.
Yeah.
That boy tripping.
I never even got to the half.
Yeah.
I'm tripping. I think he thought I was going to go back to the post. I like 2 yards outside the half.
So now I'm playing dime linebacker. I got this B-gap technically versus the run, but anytime that tackle doesn't block the end, you know, something's up. So I'm just tracking him, and I know, all right, if he's run out there, it's a screen. I'm trying to really beat these other linemen before they can get to me. And as soon as I see the ball, I break.
Malcolm Jenkins knew exactly what the play was.
And right now, I'm like, okay, we're in a dime package. I got the back. And so in my mind, I'm locked in. And then late, Corey Graham says something to me. He's saying switch, but he's saying it to the wrong person. And so when he said it, I thought that meant, okay, well, you got the back. And I realized nobody's out here covering the back, so then I just try to run over there and make the tackle.
You're like the eraser, man. You're covering up for all these guys' mistakes.
Yeah, and that's why I get to it. I'm like, Corey, don't talk to me. Stop talking to me. Like, you tripping me out. He's telling me, I wasn't talking to you, I was telling somebody else. But it's like one of those things where, you know, yeah, you just gotta feel, you know, you gotta feel it. It's just one of those things like if you feel middle of the play, nobody's covering a guy, don't just not go over there because that's not your job.
Yeah.
This motion right here is just ID motion. They want to know if we're in man or not. But with any motion comes communication. Like everybody's got to know, you know, what we're on.
So Sanu going in motion, Sydney's running with him. Mm-hmm. That's a pre-snap indicator for man coverage.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they use it for. Yeah,
right.
We're actually not in man, but to the quarterback, it looks like man.
Right.
That's what they do, you know, to figure out, to give the quarterback a snapshot on what coverage is coming.
So here we are with Fitz.
Larry, yeah, my guy. These are the type of guys I like to cover because he's big. Like, I'm big. He's not gonna out-quick me or anything like that. I know where my help is.
Behind you?
Yep. Actually, I'm probably supposed to be inside leverage because we don't have a hole player, but I'm comfortable knowing that, okay, if he goes underneath, then I can slip him.
But it's, again, here, Malcolm, you get your eyes back.
Yep.
To the quarterback here.
Once you recognize the timing, you know, of the route, you know when the ball should be able to get there. So once he makes that break, I know, okay, the ball's coming. If it's gonna go to Larry, the ball's coming. So I gotta look at that break. And if it's not there, then I'll get back to him. But that's just a feel for the concept that we got and when the ball is supposed to, you know, arrive.
When you go back to the beginning here, Malcolm, what are you looking at right here? Are you literally looking at the belt buckle right here? His number?
I look at their knees. Yeah, because like everybody, you know, always tell you, look at the belt buckle. What happens is you go from the waist all the way up to their eyes. And then when you're looking at a receiver's eyes, trying to stay in front of them, that's bad news. So I'll look at like something small on their pants, whether it's a stain or a stripe, because that doesn't move. And so everything up here they're gonna be doing all of that, but like that stuff doesn't move. So I keep my eyes down below.
But aren't the legs like going in, like maybe not with Larry, like you're talking about, but like some of these guys that can really like juke at the stop.
The jukes aren't in the legs, it's up top. I mean, your legs, they might be staying in place, but they're not gonna move.
One of the things that you do really, really well when you cover these tight ends is you will take an angle to undercut them and the potential route.
I mean, anytime you're in a slot or you're covering a tight end, somebody in the core, you gotta know where your help is. And so my help is deep, right over the top of me. So I really don't have to worry about getting beat over the top. So anything that they run, I'm gonna try to undercut it. And so anytime they run this over, I wanna get to a spot where I can be right underneath it, where I know he's not climbing, and then you just play the ball from there.
One thing you do that seems obvious to all defenders, but they don't do it, is you always seem to be able to find the quarterback.
We give quarterbacks, I think, too much credit. Right? We give them too much credit. We assume that every time as a defender, and we've been taught this since Little League, you always assume that the ball's gonna be accurate and be there on time. So when you're beat, you automatically just stare, you try to run up and play his hands. When watching the tape, like 9 times out of 10, the ball's underthrown or it's not in the right spot, and you're like, dang, if I'd have just turned around, it would have been an interception. So we work a lot on, once you get to your spot, look for the ball and play the ball. If the ball's not there, then go back to covering your man.
Right here is a little veteran move right there.
Oh yeah,
that's a little old corner trick right there. I mean, you got his hand, But you know what you're doing right there. Like,
Yeah.
it's subtle.
For me, I'm looking at the ball and I want to make sure I know where he's at. And so he's trying to do the same thing. Like, he wants to kind of keep that extension, so we were kind of playing that game. But yeah, I'm a tug that so I make sure I can get to him.
Here you are in the slot here.
Yep. We're given the appearance of man-to-man and in the slot motion, so
Yeah.
I'm just right now actually a flat defender.
When he goes across the motion here, are you saying anything like across to anybody?
We're just saying bump, bump, bump.
Bump, okay, bump.
So technically, if you want to look at it, we're a one-gap defense.
Yep,
So
yep.
right now, my gap is outside of this second receiver. Once he motions in, technically I'm now a B-gap defender. I just play it from way out here. As soon as the tackle bypasses the defensive end, now I'm just I'm out. We call it rope-a-dope basically, where I come back out and take contain.
Oh, you're a B-gap defender from that position.
From that position.
That's pretty amazing.
It's almost like a linebacker shooting into the backfield to make this stop.
Malcolm, normally a team would run that motion, you'd bump
Take you
across
out.
and get you out of there. Did you just have now your tape study, your film preparation? Okay, you're expecting this play?
Well, so what we do, and we'll switch it up basically from game to game, is sometimes we'll run with that motion, sometimes we won't. And so, because we learned that lesson the hard way playing the Rams last year, where every snap, somebody's in motion, they're shifting, and it gets you running all over the place, and then the ball is like right down there. So what we did was settle it down. Sometimes we'll run with it, sometimes we won't, and that'll keep all our backers, locked in. That'll keep our secondary all in the same gap.
Quick pitch to Devontae Freeman, who's got a hole. He's at the 50, and he is cartwheeled right there.
What amazes me is your open field tackling as well. I mean, you got Freeman out of the backfield, a lot of space, and you just tackle him in the open field. I mean, you just don't miss tackles.
Well,
those are big plays.
Yeah, the biggest thing though is for this play is just really the angle. The way you approach ball carriers are always going to be one of those things where I'm not trying to get his outside leg. I'm not trying to get out in front of him. It's just pin that inside hip so he can't cut back, and then you just wrap up and.
But a lot of guys aren't wrapping up though, Malcolm.
I think there's a time and place for it. This is not one of them, especially
Not that guy.
Yeah, not that guy with backs that have good balance that won't just fall to the ground.